It's Frank Ocean.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
We got to set this up since, you know what I'm saying, this will be the one that the YouTube fans getting all that stuff,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So for today, you know what I'm saying, this Games Music Life back in this thing with a review
Yes.
of that new Frank Ocean album,
Blond.
Now, hold on. Is it Blonde? Because there's no E at the end.
Yes, it is
the
Blond.
E so silent that he just forgot to put it on there?
It's blonde.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's blonde.
Yeah.
He has blonde hair.
Is that blonde? I thought it was green.
It's
looks
green
green
with a blonde undertone.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a little bit of
He needs to get that
everything.
redone. He has the money. He needs to get that redone.
Kev, you go first, man.
I don't know. I should, man. I don't know. Like, you know, I'm gonna have to default.
Okay, you go first. Jay, you go first. I'll go second, and then you go last.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah. Frank Ocean, man. You guys made this album. You guys built this album to be it. When I went into this album, I was looking for it to be it because I've never listened to Frank Ocean.
Okay.
Oh, you've never listened to Channel
I've
Orange?
never listened to
Oh, that's
anything Frank
blasphemy.
Ocean.
That's blasphemy.
Okay.
But,
I'm coming in this clean ears.
Okay.
And it's okay. I mean, and it's not based upon the stuff we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the tracks, like I like Ivy. I think that's a pretty solid track. Nights is good. But to me, this album, the production isn't consistent. It seems like the word that comes to my mind is confused. This album seems confused to me.
Mm-hmm.
From him jumping the fence about, you know, guys to girls to it just doesn't seem clear. It seems like he's confused, and the material shows it. I don't think any of the lyrics were there. I was thinking he was going to be an R&B singer, like a traditional R&B singer. That's kind of how I thought of him like. But when I listen to Nikes and he has auto-tune, I'm like, didn't Jay-Z kill this already? Like, why is he doing this? It almost, that song made me think, like, should this be on The Weeknd's album or on Kanye's album? You know what I mean? Yeezus. Because it doesn't seem like it should fit his album.
But that wasn't auto-tune, though.
Was that not auto-tune?
No, they just increased the pitch.
Was it increased the pitch?
Yeah.
They should have kept it where it was at. It was not good. Going through let me just go through the track listing so I don't lose my train of thought. Things like Facebook Story, not needed. White Ferrari, I know a lot of people were thinking that was a good track. I didn't think it was a good track.
I love that song.
I did not like that song at all.
Yeah, I love that one.
Pretty Sweat, no.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. I apologize. I did like Pink and White. I did like Pink and White.
Okay.
Skyline 2 was okay. Shout out to Andre 3000 with the best track on the album.
Let's stop there for a second.
Yes.
So Andre 3000, he's talking about Drake, right?
It feels like it.
I know, hey, I'm not gonna say that. I
It
don't put up
feels
fuel on
like
that fire.
It feels like it.
But-
I'm tapping my feet to those not deserving.
Yes.
That's rough.
Yes, because
That's
he was
rough.
on Drake's album, wasn't he? He
What?
gave Drake a verse a couple years ago.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. Like, I gave you, I should not have been on your album, maybe. I don't know.
Are we reading too much into this?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know. I don't
Andre's
know.
too smart. He wouldn't.
very
He
smart,
would
yeah.
not put that in the album if he wasn't directing at somebody.
My thing is, can you respond if you're Drake?
Absolutely not.
You can't.
There's certain people you just do not respond to.
You just gotta hold
Yeah.
it.
There's certain people, and I think that's what Drake kind of did when he brought out Eminem. There's certain people you just.
But it's weird though, because then he dissed Meek Mills.
Well, Meek Mill,
So
no
it's like he was being a bully. Like I
he's
got
definitely
your
being a
number.
bully. Definitely,
I
being a
got your
bully.
number.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
messing with Andre, but I got your number though.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah,
can't. They're
but-
not on the same scale.
Man,
Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me cut you
it's
off.
funny because that Andre 3000, man, please drop an album. I heard he's been active in the studio.
That's what
Yeah,
I heard.
I heard he's been active
So-
too.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. I'm not sold.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I need to listen to his past stuff to get an idea of who he is.
I think it'll make you mad
Okay, so then I'm not gonna listen to it.
because he's not that same artist.
What you,
Okay,
how do you
so
mean?
This is
From Channel Orange to
Channel
this?
Orange to this is totally different.
Okay.
You know.
I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know if he. Yeah, it's just confusion. I
You
don't know if he
no,
found
you know what? I
it-
take it back. If you go back and listen to Channel Orange, you'll get a better love for him.
Okay.
You'll give him not so much give him a pass. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you will get a better feel for what type of artist he is.
Yeah, because when it shines, it shines. Like for example, on Ivy, the guitar work on that was pretty sweet.
Mhm.
Like I rock with that. I
Okay.
could get down with that beat.
Okay.
But then some of the tracks, it's like it reminded me of Kid Cudi when he went completely left field.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this isn't your sound. Like, what do you do? Don't try to experiment. It seems like there's a lot of experimentation going on here.
Okay.
So, like for example, when he was doing acapella on Skyline 2, nah, you need to be with it, brother.
Okay.
It just the album just I came in with the mentality of this is an R&B guy, swooning the ladies,
Mm-hmm.
that type of blueprint for an R&B album.
Okay. So
And
what'd you give it?
this didn't resonate with me. I
Okay.
gave it 72.
72.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Frank Ocean. Okay. Channel Orange came out 5 years ago. So we've been, even on our podcast, we talked. I think it was our early as episode 7 or 8. We basically waved the flag, telling Frank or asking Frank to release the music.
Yeah.
We wanted him to release the music, and I'm one of which, as far as saying that your sexual preference doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to a lot of people, which I don't see why he had to pretty much wear us out on Forrest Gump and go the route he did. Because if that's what he was gay, I didn't think he needed to be as descriptive as he was. And but I will say, going into this album, I kind of had forgot about it, that was going to be a factor, which I don't think so. I listened to Sam Smith. We all know Sam Smith is gay. People can really know that Luther Vandross was gay. It doesn't matter. Just make good music, and I'll be okay with it. But with that being said, I don't like the fact that sometimes Frank alludes about things, and because he's wore us out before on Forrest Gump, we think more than what it is. Yeah. And I think that he's smart enough that he might be trolling us with some of that. And I don't think that he has any room to do that. He shouldn't, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, man, Blonde, I listened to it. I told you guys before the podcast, I listened to it almost 8 times. And in the middle of listening to it, I went back and listened to the Lonnie Brew album, which was a lot of his mixtape and a lot of other songs that were released, like Acura Integral and some of the other ones, Novocaine, and they actually just put them on that album. I listened to that straight through. I listened to Channel Orange straight through. And Blonde sounds nothing like those 2 albums. And I don't know if they didn't have a drummer, they couldn't pay a drummer, they couldn't pay for a percussion to come through. There was no bass in this album. It was like Frank, an organ, and a microphone. And he just went all the way, that was his lane, the entire album. I'm very big on hearing the layers of an artist. Just like my discrepancy with YG's album, because it kind of stayed on that one path the entire way when he talked about gang banging and this and that with LA. I know there's more layers to LA than that. I know there's more layers to Frank Ocean than what he gave us on this album. Was it bad music? I don't think it was bad music. I think it was very good music. But I think that he could replace a lot of those songs with songs that had some funk, had something to make me tap my foot to, and it would make me appreciate the White Ferrari. It would make me appreciate Pink and White, and it would definitely make me appreciate Solo more than what I did, because I found myself listening to the album and wondering, first off, Frank is not that powerful of a singer to be able to pull off an album with just him and an organ.
Totally agree with you.
That's the part that I didn't actually get. It's almost like, and we talked about it in the pod, I kind of stopped us from talking about it. I don't think this is new music. I think this is old. I think this is stuff that he put out. Like, he didn't even put out. He just had it in the stash, and maybe it's gonna have some sort of production to go with it later. And kind of like Lupe's album with Lasers. Lupe was flowing on Lasers, but the production was awful. I think this album was a lot of that. Now, the last song on the album, like, Kev, you broke it down to us what he was actually talking about, and it makes sense now that he was talking about.
But does it really though?
I don't think so. Even
It's
with Kev saying that,
still great.
It wore, like, yo, that song wore me out, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, like, bro, like, I listened to, like, the Good Guys track. That song messed me up because that was like early in the album.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
in the middle.
That was
It was
no,
in the
it was
middle.
it was
It was in the
light.
middle.
It was light, but it messed my mind up so much that I'm listening to the next couple songs, and I'm wondering if he's still on that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
has that carryover.
And that's the thing. Like I listen, and I know part of it is me and the way I listen to R&B. When I listen to R&B, I hear a man, I envision myself singing to my wife. I hear a woman, I envision her singing to me.
Right.
I find it a little odd to hear a man singing and going descriptive about another man.
Right.
Now, once again, is it sexual preference? Not at all. I'm not a homophobe or anything. I don't have any problem with that 100% at all. But I think Frank is a smart enough artist to know who his music is who is supporting his music.
Right.
And I don't believe he needs to do that. If that's what he is, if he's gay, if whatever, it doesn't matter. That's you. But if you're a hell of an artist, I don't care. Okay? So I just don't think that he needs to be that descriptive when he's making his music. Now, on one end of it, someone will say, well, why can't he do that? I respect that as well. But just know when you do that, you're alienating yourself from a large majority of people that's listening to music.
Right.
So when I listen to, like I said, he's smart enough to know who his market is, and I think that he could have kept that under wraps a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because the last song, even though Kev broke it down to me, and I appreciate you doing that, and I do agree with that. Now that you did it, it opens my eyes to maybe that's what he was talking about, but it still didn't take away that feeling I felt when I first read it. And I mean, when I heard him, like, whoa, yo, like, dude, come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I took me to a place where I had to get up and walk away, like, yo, like, you don't have to do this, man.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to. So that was that. Yeah. So like I said, Channel Orange, Lonnie Brew, loved them both. This album, I kind of went back and forth, and I stopped listening to it after my 7th, 8th listen because I didn't want to sway anymore. I didn't want for it to sway me either way, I should say. But I think sonically, it's a good sound, but I think he stayed in one pocket the entire album. And that was my gripe with it. It was, for it to be the hype behind it, and also just the machine with everybody. Everyone was expecting this Frank Ocean. Everyone wanted it. Everyone loved it. It's going to do numbers. We know that. It's going to sell. And it doesn't have a Def Jam push. It's an independent album, which I did not know.
Yeah.
You know, I gave it a 79, but with that, I expect more from Frank Ocean. And that's the reason why. It's almost like Jay-Z's Kingdom Come. That could have been a good album for another artist, but for Jay-Z, it was a bad album. So for Frank, I think this was not a good album for him. So,
Oh my goodness! You know, I can't believe that both y'all are saying this. Like, I'm wondering now if we even heard the same album here. Like, did we listen to the same album this week, or did y'all get something else? Because, like, listen, I've been going back and forth with this record since it came out on Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Apple Music member, holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? And I've been heavy on the record that I've been waiting for this project to come out. First of all, before I even get to talking about the music, the rollout of it was phenomenal. Getting out here and dropping the visual first, dropping Endless out of nowhere, you know, giving us that visual album, which had great music on it, by the way. And it's a shame because I can't get back to it because the next day you give us Blonde, and I jump right into that record, and I haven't been able to get away from it. Like, I have to take breaks from this album and try to listen to something else just to kind of try to reset and come into it with a clear thought. Like, I've been kind of jotting down some notes about this album since it came out, and I couldn't really keep any good notes because my opinions kept on changing. Like, it was such a polarizing album. The sonically, he went so many different places. I mean, this dude has hip-hop sound on there. He's got gospel sound on there. He's got R&B. He's got pop. He's got alternative. Like, he did so many different styles, and he really did it flawlessly. And kind of digging into this album, I want to, I'm big on figuring out production credits and things like that, figure out who all had a hand in it. I mean, first thing that stood out to me is that Pharrell definitely has his finger all over Pink and White. Like, that song is his style. Like, that's definitely NERD. Tyler, the Creator, may have actually done that beat because I know that he's a huge stan of Pharrell and the NERD sound and everything like that, and he mimics that sound very well if you listen to any of his projects. But, I mean, that's a hit. Like,
it's a hit.
to the point that, Beyonce is on the third verse and you don't even notice it. Like they harmonize so well. It's such a big song, such a big pop record that he executes flawlessly. That you don't even notice a lot of these guest features when they come in there. It just sounds like a song kind of playing along. But that definitely sounded like Pharrell. I heard a lot of Prince influence on songs like White Ferrari. Like that the pin on that is so high. And Bon Iver, like, first of all, they've crushed the two features between I Need a Forest Fire and White Ferrari. Between those two songs on James Blake and Frank Ocean's albums, they're murdering everything right now. Like, they stole the show both times.
They did, but to go back to that point, that's an excellent point you bring up about Forest Fire. Forest Fire had that passion with the beat too. That was in my opinion was lacking from the album. I think that the music was good, but the production was just it threw me off.
See, I didn't think so, because thinking about this record, I kind of came into it, I don't want to say expecting a pop sound, but Frank has a really, really big sound. If you listen to Channel Orange, a lot of those songs are really grandiose. Like if you listen to what is the name of that song on Channel Orange? You better run for me, my world. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. If you listen to that song, that's got a grandiose, production. If you listen to Pyramid, it's got a really grand production. I feel like on this album, he broke it down and reconstructed that sound. Like on this album, you're getting, changes in pitch, changes in tempo. He's using, a vocoder. Shout out to Roger Troutman, getting it in there that way. And look at all the styles that he's emulating. I hear Bowie on here. I hear Michael Jackson. Like which song is it? Ivy sounds like Michael Jackson to me all day. Like
what Beck album was it where he sounded depressed and he stayed in that lane? It's kind of hardly regarded as his best album.
Yeah,
that's what I think this reminded me of.
I could hear the influence there, but it was so many different places that he was coming from. Listen to the name of some of these collabs. We've got Beyonce on here. We've got Kendrick on here. Did you even notice Kendrick was on this album?
I did not.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Brian Eno. Do you know who Brian Eno is? Yeah. Yeah, like, come on now. Like, you're getting legendary producers out here, man. Getting Brian Eno in there. Pharrell had his hand in there. Kanye had his hand in there. Tyler, Andre, 88 Keys, Young Lean, James Blake, Rick Rubin. Like, come on. You're getting juggernauts on this thing. You know what I'm saying?
We are.
I felt like Nike's, that's pushing the sound forward. Like, I've never heard anything like that from Frank Ocean. He's definitely trying to expand the sound, but it's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? After listening to the song, it's dope. I got two versions.
That's one thing he did too. Great you bring that up. He sung from different perspectives.
Yeah.
So you didn't know if it was him saying it or if it was his perspective.
You have to really be paying attention.
Yes, because even on the song, the boys, what's it called? The boys, the one I was talking about that kind of wore me out.
Good Guys. Yeah.
He sung it from different perspectives. He sung it from Frank Ocean talking to a former Frank Ocean about a chapter in his life basically being gay and that chapter being old. So I don't know. Even on the last song, he did it in a different voice when he said that.
Yeah, he went all over the place. But, I felt like Good Guy, that was kind of whatever. You know what? This album, since I've been listening to it, I had to go back and listen to Channel Orange, and it really made me appreciate Channel Orange a lot more. Just kind of listen to how clean the production was on Channel Orange. Everything sounded very polished on that album.
Yeah.
He didn't go that route on this album, but he still put out a project that is as good, if not better, in my opinion, than what he did on Channel Orange. Like, he took a lot of risk and succeeded. He's got, like, these are huge records, and it may be, if somebody else was singing them, that, you may hear it or that they may sound bigger, but these are, he's got, these are timeless records at this point. I'm listening to this album, and to me, if you ask me, Frank Ocean is on course to be our generation's Stevie Wonder, our generation's Prince, our generation, I wouldn't say Michael Jackson just because I don't know anybody can ever get to that point, but sonically, as far as the music goes and his penmanship and musicianship, like, he has no parallel right now. The only other person I can kind of compare him to that's getting a little traction right now is Anderson .Paak and how much they appreciate the music, or sonically how much they appreciate.
I just think
the
it's
sound.
night and day when it comes to those two, because Anderson .Paak has a voice. His voice is more. I'm not gonna say listenable. If anything, this album, this Frank album, reminded me of Miguel's last project.
Oh, I really feel like, and this is kind of the tough thing about music reviews because we gotta, you know what I'm saying, kind of do this in a limited amount of time trying to get these out. But I feel like this is an album you have to kind of sit with. We're gonna have to live with this for a while. But this album is gonna live for a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, we know, Jay. We know you're.
We know you're in and out. Listen, we knew you were out. After my first listen, I said Jay's not gonna like this.
But I'm saying, like, you listen to songs like Solo. I mean, he goes from, you know, kind of playing these big pop records. Solo sounds like a gospel song. I mean, it's nothing but a big organ playing behind him, and he's just singing, going off to this. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the part I didn't like was I wanted more. He left me with a hunger for more on this album.
Where that I guess that's kind of where I'm missing, because the production changed so much, and again, like, it's not a hip hop album. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's listed as a pop album, and when you think of it in that context, like, it's so progressive. It's so ahead. Like, it is. Like, I listened to it when I first saw that it was listed as a pop album. I'm like, what? Soul is what that's what I would
missing.
That's what I would imagine. But listening to that record, like, because he went so far and he took so many different genres of music and he did them at such a high level, I understand why it's a pop album, because he took all of popular music and sprinkled a little bit into this album. Yeah, like, I mean, he bodied this. I understand. Like, it's not often that you get an album that is hyped, is an album like this, and the artist actually delivers. Like, he came out of the sophomore slump and succeeded. Like, I mean, he didn't hit a sophomore slump.
I didn't hear it.
I'm telling you, I think that you need to listen or kind of live with this album a little bit more. I mean, listening even to the transitions, because, I mean, you know, on Channel Orange, my favorite song on there is Pyramids, and it's because of the transitions in there. If you listen to the transitions in Nights, I mean, he's following that same format, but taking it to the next level. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not only transitioning the beat, but I mean, there are 3 transitions in that song, from the first verse to the hook to the last verse.
Yeah. I think the way it also has to do with the way we consume music. The way I consume it, I'll throw my studio headphones on, and I'm listening to it the way that I feel they intend for you to listen to it.
Yeah,
I might as well listen to this with some Bluetooth headphones on, man, because it didn't. it was like it was an emphasis on the words, and like there was no bass.
I can see that. Like, you know? I mean, it wasn't a very loud album. Like, he picked his spots there, but. I mean, the creativity was off the charts. Like, he was going in, and if you ask me, this album was a lot more personal as well. Like, he talked about his real life a lot more, the things that he's going through, the things that he's facing a lot more on this. It was, you know, he was kind of bearing his soul out here a little bit more on this album. I felt like.
Does Frank even want to be famous?
I think that he wants his music to, you know, get noticed, but I don't know that he himself cares for fame and spotlight.
I found myself looking for a Frank Ocean interview. I couldn't find one.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot.
Side note on that, he's a pretty savvy businessman, because his endless visual album
fulfilled his contract.
Yeah,
he gets extra points on the swagger.
Yep. Then he released Blond 24 hours after as an independent artist.
Yeah.
So he's about to get some cash.
Yeah.
Over.
Apple Music already cashed him out. Yeah. Endless was his fulfillment to his record contract.
So that's why both of them came out.
Yeah, that's why Universal actually now is making it so that way artists can't do exclusive releases anymore.
Yeah. They're trying to get.
It's
Apple
because of the way he finessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finessed.
I read
for
that
the big check.
Yeah. I mean, that's big for music though. That's big for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So
buy record labels.
Yeah. Well, not even that. They just can't put any exclusive content like Apple. There's no reason to have Apple Music. Yeah. So basically, he shot Kanye in the foot. You know, because Kanye was pushing everybody to get Apple. I'm not gonna release my album anywhere else. But
Kanye was on.
Tidal.
Yeah.
Man, back to this music though. Like, I'm saying, like, look at the range in these songs. Like, listen to a song like you know, Pink and White, and then go to Close to You. Like that. Like, they are so far across the spectrum. Like, Close to You is such a smooth song.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
But it goes back to what I was saying. I can appreciate the fact that he took the chance, but I think that he left me with a hunger for more out of the song. I thought he could have got way more out of it. Like, you read off
which song?
Well, you read off the names, and like, even like, for instance, The White Ferrari. You know, I like it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love that song. But I would have loved to hear like, music invokes emotion, and I don't think Frank's voice is a voice of which that.
Now, White Ferrari, he got bodied.
No, he did.
He got bodied.
He did. But I'm saying, though, if it would have been a beat behind it, something that could have been there to make me tap my foot, to make me go with it. Maybe it's just a good drum.
It wasn't a dance. Like, he's got the music on there that you can dance to, but I mean, White Ferrari is just not one of them. But I mean, he got bodied. He got bodied on the track. Justin Vernon came in there and stole the show. Like, I mean, he got bodied. But then, I mean, Siegfried, that's probably the best song I've heard all year. Like, that song is amazing. Like, oh my God. And it feels like you're peering into his soul in this song. Like, he's really giving us a look.
What got me, and I know we both had talked about it, James Blake being my personal favorite album of the year so far, Frank wrote on that album.
Yeah.
And the reason why I highly anticipated the Frank album was because, heck, if James Blake could pull this off, I know Frank got some stuff in the stash because James had production. He had some beats on there. He had some stuff that I was like looking forward to Frank.
Yeah. And
that's where I guess maybe I was a little bit jaded in thinking that Frank was going to be a extension of what he gave James Blake. But it also gives a ode to how dope James Blake is because
no doubt.
I'm sure Frank has a sound and James just put his twist on it, and that's what we have in that album. But I was expecting, like I said, the lyrics, I mean, it's not the lyrics, the content is there. I think it is there. I think it's that's why I said I gave it a 79. For most people, that would have been a higher rated album, in my opinion.
I think once you live with it more, man, the score will go. I mean, like, start to finish, like, that album is phenomenal. Like,
what'd you give it?
When I rated it out, man, I initially rated that album out at a 94. But on the strength of the super finesse, and you know what I'm saying, you know, I love a hustler. You know what I'm saying? I had to bump him up to a 97, baby. Yeah, that album's gonna go down as a masterpiece, man. Like that album speaks to the times right now. Like that's the biggest release right now.
Really?
I mean. Think about what we were getting this year. I mean, we got that Kanye album, mediocre. We got Views, mediocre. We got Anderson .Paak, which was, outstanding.
Right.
But, this is his debut album. Like, he's still got some growing to do. I go back and listen to...
I found it hard to give a person whose first album... I can't... It's supposed to be good. This is the album you've been making your whole life. You're making this album your whole life. So I'm okay with that. I'm expecting for it to be good. But your second and third and more albums after that,
it's tough to get better.
It's
tough.
But
Frank got better. Like that's the tough part. Like listening to this album, his pen is so much better, and he's got so many styles. Go back and listen to Channel Orange. He didn't have these styles.
I like Channel Orange better.
I like. You know what? I had this argument earlier, and it was like, you know what? Do I think that this album is better than Channel Orange? I can't say that because Channel Orange was phenomenal, but this album is phenomenal as well. Like, I mean. Live with it a little bit, man. Like, and this album is.
I'm gonna live with it.
It's phenomenal.
But
like
Channel Orange just had some hits.
It did absolutely. Listen, Super
Novocaine,
Rich Kids is on my playlist.
Novocaine
you know what I'm saying?
Is probably his best. Might have been his best song ever. Like Frank's best song.
It was definitely dope. I mean, but he's got some. I mean, if we go back to Nostalgia Ultra, you know what I'm saying? And he's got a ton of stuff out there. But I mean, this album.
97.
Yeah, I mean, it was so personal. It was so bold.
Album with a 97.
Hey, yo, he did get Hov got the shout out on the album. I don't know if you peeped that. You know what I'm saying? Jay told me act my net worth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm blocking anything out, Jay-Z.
No mention of Nas.
Jay's the god, man.
Yeah, no mention of Nas. But also in that, man,
no one shouting out Nas.
Pac got plenty of shouts out on there. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, there's only one Pac.
He got a shout out on there?
He's got several. Yeah, I mean, come on now.
Did you talk about him with the leotards humping teddy bears on stage?
Man, stop it. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? 97, man, this album is phenomenal. I think as you live with it a little bit, man, you'll hear it. Like, he hit that point on this album. Like, he couldn't do it any better.
Okay. We will definitely revisit it and talk about it some more. I would love to come back to this after a month and see if you still rated a 97.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see if you do. Because I'm going to tell you, he got my man Tory Lanez the heck up out of here.
Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, poor Tory Lanez. I've been feeling bad for this guy. I thought about listening to his project just on the strength that, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't fair, the way Frank Ocean bullied this whole thing. Speaking of which, I got to get my hands on a copy of that magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, because, it was big shouts out to the Bass God on that. He was actually a huge influence.
The Bass God?
Yeah, the Bass God is a huge influence.
Shout out Bass God.
Yeah, shout out to the Bass God.
He got Party Next Door up out of here, too.
Yeah, and you know what? We're also going to have this discussion because you slandered me when I said that Pharrell might be the greatest composer of all time.
I was working, and I didn't. Pharrell, people don't really know, Pharrell just did a lot on movies. Like the Triple X movies, that was all Pharrell.
Yeah.
Like all of them. Like that, he does a lot.
Yeah.
Him and
So,
Swiss Beats do a lot too.
you're
Swiss
saying
is an underrated one.
Pumps
as
in
well.
the Rumps is Pharrell, or not Pumps in the Rumps. It's Rump Shaker is actually Pharrell.
Really?
Yeah, Teddy Riley's verse on Rump Shaker and the horns are Pharrell. It's
Pharrell-
actually Pharrell playing the horns.
You know, the real question is Pharrell. Is he a vampire? I think Pharrell might be like 70.
Yeah.
He's never changed.
It makes you
look-wise.
wonder. But I think Pharrell might be the greatest composer of our
That's
time.
That's another pot. We'll definitely have to dive in.
I'm talking Beethoven,
Kev,
Mozart level.
load me up with the list, man. You only gave me one link. For,
The
I told you to start there.
I
You
know
never
he's-
you didn't give me any feedback.
He's gonna
You didn't
ride.
give me
He's
any
gonna
feedback.
ride on
Song
the NERD.
that song was dope.
Okay,
Song was
yeah,
dope.
Life
I
of the
like the
Fish.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's my
song's dope.
jam.
The
That's my jam.
NERD catalog is very underrated.
Absolutely.
You got me on that
Absolutely.
one a long time ago, so
Yeah.
I definitely will tip my hat to that.
Bobby
but
James, man,
That's
provider.
a. I mean, people forget he was the Clips.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, Super Thug.
Grind.
This man gave us Super Thug,
He
bro.
gave Super Thug.
He gave us Super Thug.
Is that Nori's biggest hit?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Ever.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah, Band from TV is my favorite song, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably his biggest hit.
That's definitely his biggest hit.
Yeah.
That's the reason Drink Champs can exist.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he admits this on Drink Champs. Like, Super Thug put me over the top.
Yeah, that was the jam.
Yeah.
That was the jam. Wow, dang. So good. I mean, good reviews, guys. I'm definitely proud of everybody going in on it. But so yeah, well, I'd like to revisit it in about a month.
I feel like you have to. Like,
Mhm.
that album, man, it was an emotional roller coaster.
You know, the thing about it is, it doesn't surprise me that you were going to have that review. I knew that going in. I knew Jay was going to hate it, and you were going to love it
Yeah.
because I knew after the second.
I didn't hate it.
No, not really hate it. I just felt I
it just
knew.
didn't resonate with me.
Yeah, you weren't gonna like it because you didn't. I know you didn't know who Frank Ocean was, so
You really need to listen to Channel Orange.
You need to listen to Channel. I think if you
Channel
listen to
Orange
Channel
is
Orange,
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and in my opinion, he doesn't think it. I think Channel Orange is much better than this.
That's on Google.
Yeah, I think that at most they're equal.
But you know what's crazy
Channel
too? I
Orange
want
is
to tip my
phenomenal.
hat to Frank Ocean because Endless was damn good.
Yeah, Endless was great.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
that's and
But-
it's a shame though because I
Yeah,
can't go back to
exactly.
it now because of Blond.
He
Blond
got
was very
Endless up
good.
out of there.
Yeah, he did.
He got Endless
moved
out of
right
there,
on
man.
out of
You gotta-
there.
you
Yeah,
gotta-
he fulfilled that last album.
Yeah,
Man,
that
you
was
know,
out.
I also had to kind of leave this out here too, man, because I had this conversation earlier in regards to Channel Orange. Somebody was testing me like, "Yo, how can Blonde not be better than Channel Orange if you had to delete Forrest Gump?" And I went back and listened to Channel Orange, and I listened to Forrest Gump, and without the extras, Forrest Gump is actually a very good song. If somebody else, if a woman was singing that song, it would be a great song.
Yeah, but I just think you know what it. At this point, you're already.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
like
privy to-
like I said, I deleted it from the album. Like, it messed up the flow of the
Yeah.
album for me.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it actually is, like, sonically
Listen.
and the lyrics, it's just him singing it.
Yeah.
But the song itself is actually a very good song.
Forrest Gump ruined the last song on this album for me because I'm anticipating more. And like I said, when you broke it down to what he was actually talking about,
Yeah.
it made sense. But because of Forrest Gump, I don't.
You don't
that-
trust it.
don't
I
know.
feel it.
I don't trust
I
it.
feel
You
it.
know,
But
like-
I'm saying, put all that stuff out of your mind and just listen to the music, and it's a phenomenal piece of work,
Yeah.
man. 97 strong. You know what? There was a time it was at 100. It was I was gonna give it to 100, and I don't know that I'll ever give anything 100 on here. And it came back down because my original rating was 94, and
Okay.
it came back down, and he only got the extra 3 points just for, you know what I'm saying, R and S.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying, the finesse move. I respect the hustler. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
all
That's why Hov is
finesse is real.
that's why Hov is the GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I